With Season 14 just around the corner and Irelia still being my personal favorite champion, I think it was time to make this video. Irelia can be seen as one of the more complex champions in League of Legends for beginners and seasoned players alike. The main complexity comes through the special awareness of Morgs and the importance of hitting your E flawless duet. Many guides fail to show actual gameplay footage, so this is why in this video I will not only explain how to do it, but also show you how it works in-game and how I pull these plays off. I've been playing Irelia for a very long time and currently have 350,000 mastery points on this champion. First things first, the most important part about Irelia's combos is mixing up how you use your E, besides from hitting them in the first place. Beginners often get stuck using one combo they learned over and over again, which makes it very predictable. And I mean, don't worry, I did the same mistake in the beginning too, but it is smarter to mix up how you use them. This is probably my most used combo just because it works so damn good. I call it Minion Duet, and because it will be pretty obvious in a few seconds. You can hide your first E exceptionally well behind other animations, for example queuing on a minion like this. For this to work, you need to press E on top of the minion and immediately Q on it, basically in the same time. To avoid breaking your fingers on your keyboard, I would recommend pressing E first and then Q, but try to do it as closely together as possible. The next step is to click on the enemy with your second E as fast as possible as well. And this is how it looks like in actual practice. Hiding your E can be much more straightforward than the Minion Duet I showed you guys earlier. If you have good vision management and control, you can just hide your first E in a bush or behind a wall. I personally play Irelia mid mostly, but this works top as well since they have bushes as well. The complexity here comes through the timing. Try to test how much time you have until your E runs out. Don't be too obvious in your movement, and be aware that even if the E is in a bush, Irelia still has the animation of placing it. So before you walk out, the animation has to be finished, then you can walk out, and then you have only a limited amount of time until the second one has to be planted. After you placed your first E, you have 3.5 seconds until you have to place your second one. So you do have time to act normal. Don't just walk towards the enemy. Walk towards the backline, make them come closer, and then place the second one. You can also just queue up on a ranged minion in the backline to close the gap. It seems obvious to hit your E first before your Q to get a reset on the mark, but there are situations where wasting, in quotations, your Q is a safer move, especially on low life champions or if you are planning on using your ultimate on a champ without flash. Since Vanguards Edge, your ultimate, will reduce the cooldown of Bladesurge by 0.5, 1.5 or 2.5 seconds, depending on level, you can afford casting it without your Q up in certain situations. If there's enough space between their tower and the enemy, or if they don't have flash, you can easily Q on top of them, stun them with your E, ult them, so that your Q comes up faster, and then finish them off with a Q auto attack Q combo. This is definitely your strongest combo in teamfights and probably the most important to master. Placing your E before using your ultimate almost certainly leads to at least 2 stuns, or more stuns depending on the amount of people you caught in your ultimate. Since Vanguard's Edge forces people in a straight line, more or less, queuing through them and recasting your E at the end of your ultimate gives you multiple marks to hit and also a way out again. So you can ult them, queue through all the targets you hit, place the second E, stun them once more, and queue back through them. Don't forget that you can precast your ultimate into a flash, meaning pressing R and flash quickly together will lead to you flashing and immediately casting your ultimate. This enables you to reach targets that are a bit further out. If you hit them with your ultimate, even flashing won't save them. As far as I know, flash brings you about 425 units out, while Irelia's casting distance for Bladesurge per Q is 600. So if you react quick enough, you can always Q on them after they flashed, and if you hit your ultimate or your E, there will be of course a reset of your Q as well. This is a weird one, and I honestly only used it once or twice effectively, but I want to show it to you nevertheless. Depending on your skin, you can hide your E pretty well under your W. Since you are stationary, this doesn't work most of the time, since people just walk away expecting the W damage, but if it works, it looks like this, which is really funny. As mentioned in my last segment, skins can have different levels of effectiveness. Newer skins tend to be a bit more flashy, which makes it easier to hide your E under different animations. At the end, I would say don't choose your skin based on what you think would hide your E best. Choose the skin that is the smoothest to you, that feels the best while playing. I personally like different skins, and I felt like all of those combos can work with all of those skins, but it needs to be mentioned that especially old skins have a bit less animations behind Q and W, which could lead to your E being a bit more obvious. And lastly, to come to a close, don't forget to mix it up. Just sometimes a simple left-right action, E left to right, E on top of them, and then second E on top of you will do the trick. You don't need to go for these combos every time your flawless duet comes off cooldown. Just try to adapt to the situation, bait your enemy into situations where they don't expect your E, and you will hit them pretty consistently. I really hope this helped. These are definitely the combinations that I personally use the most and find the most useful, and I hope that you can also implement them into your gameplay. And with that being said, best of luck for Season 14 Ranked, and have fun.